Frenkie de Jong's journey at Barcelona has been anything but smooth.
But this is exactly the sort of player that Barca need. Where's it gone wrong for him?
Constant reports about his high wages.
They're trying to besmirch his reputation. I go as far to say almost destroy him at Barcelona.
Poor performances and injuries left Barcelona fans incredibly dissatisfied with the Dutchman.
Negativity surrounding Frenkie de Jong, to the point to where now fans feel this negativity and they turn that onto Frenkie de Jong.
He was even booed when he came on against Brest. But against all odds, he fought his way back. Hansi Flick has continued to have faith in the midfielder and has rejuvenated him.
I appreciate what I see from Frankie. He gave us stability, he gave us also ball control. And he's a fantastic player.
From Barca trying to sell him multiple times.
How many times Frenkie de Jong has been talked about and rumored to be leaving Barcelona? Yes.
To him being at the heart of the midfield, this is the story of Frenkie de Jong's redemption.
De Jong with a chance, and he takes it. Frenkie de Jong, one of the, well, not so surprising team selections because he has been in very good form recently.
Drop for Frenkie de Jong, and it's 4-1 for Barcelona.
It started with a simple transaction, €1 million for a quiet, skinny teenager from Willem II. Ajax had just signed Frenkie de Jong, but nobody knew who he was then. At first, he was just another young midfielder trying to break through at one of Europe's biggest talent factories. He wasn't the fastest, the strongest, or the most imposing, but there was something about the way he moved, the way he glided past opponents, the way he never seemed to lose the ball. In his first 2 years at Ajax, Frankie wasn't a guaranteed starter. He bounced between the Ajax second team and the first squad, learning, growing, evolving. But when he played, well, people noticed. His elegance, his composure, his ability to see 3 steps ahead. It was different. It was special. By 2017, his role started to shift. Injuries and transfers forced Ajax to play him as a center back, a decision that seemed odd at first. But Frankie, he wasn't like other defenders. He didn't just stop attacks. He started them. He'd drop deep, pick up the ball, and drive forward. He had more drive than Bonnie Blue. Then in 2018-2019, everything changed. That season, Ajax built a team full of fearless, hungry young talents. But the real engine of the team, that was Frenkie de Jong. From deep in midfield, Frankie dictated the game like a chess master. He wasn't just passing sideways and playing it safe. He was breaking the lines, carrying the ball through pressure, and destroying pressing systems with a simple body feint. That year, Ajax went on a magical run in the Champions League. They didn't just beat the big boys, they humiliated them. Real Madrid, the reigning champions, dismantled at the Bernabeu. That photo of de Jong getting past Modric seemed like a passing of the torch moment. Although the Croatian Owen Wilson never ages, so he's still around. Juventus, led by Cristiano Ronaldo, no problem. Outplayed, outclassed, next. Tottenham in the semi-finals, Frankie dominated the first leg in London. Ajax were seconds away from the final. But football is cruel. A 96-minute goal shattered Ajax's dreams. Their fairy tale ended, and Frenkie de Jong, well, he'd played his last game in Amsterdam. Still though, the world had seen enough. Barcelona had taken notice and paid €75 million to bring him in. They believed they had found their next Xavi, their next Iniesta, the heartbeat of a new golden era in Barca's midfield. In an era where Barcelona were recklessly spending in the transfer market, the deal for de Jong seemed like a signing that just made sense. Frankie had risen to the top, but his greatest challenge was yet to come. You see, de Jong arrived at a broken Barcelona, a club in financial ruin, a squad with no clear direction. Instead of being molded into the next great Barca midfielder, he was forced to adapt to a chaotic system. Different managers, different formation, different responsibilities. He was no longer the free-roaming dominant force he was at Ajax. He played deeper, he played wider, he played in roles that didn't really feel like him.
We know very well that Frankie de Jong likes to have the ball, likes to break lines, likes to have freedom. And when you play in this kind of Barcelona style and philosophy, that is not something that you're going to receive.
As a result, his confidence faded. As Barcelona collapsed 8-2 against Bayern, as Messi departed and the club found itself in financial crisis, de Jong was caught in the wreckage. Fans expected him to lead, but how could he when the club itself was falling apart? He was a midfielder, not some attacker that was going to score 30 goals a season for you. By 2022, some began to question him. Was he just a product of Ajax's perfect system? Had Barcelona ruined another talent? It was a tough situation because at times, de Jong's talent was undeniable. I mean, this is a guy that can just glide past players. His ball carrying is exceptional. Even Xavi spoke very highly of him.
He's our player. I'm really happy and satisfied with his performance, his leadership.
But defensively, he made errors. A lot of times out of possession, he would be caught ball watching. Tactically, it was a weird fit. I don't know what Barca had in mind when they signed Frenkie de Jong, but it was clear he wasn't a sole pivot. Nobody can replace Busquets naturally, but certainly not de Jong, a player who is in no way a natural number 6. 2006. Then the emergence of Pedri and Gavi, two players that were also technically gifted but more tenacious, made De Jong's situation that much more difficult. And then the stories from the media began. In July, when De Jong was on holiday, Spanish newspaper Marca ran a story citing details from his contract, saying that he accepted a wage deferral in the summer of 2021 due to Barcelona's cash flow problems, meaning that he was due to be paid a guaranteed 18 million euros that season, alongside guaranteed bonuses that were set to be paid the next season. Imagine you're just chilling on the beach and your net worth is leaked for the world to see. At least De Jong has money. If they showed my bank account, it would have been negative. The leak seemed like it was done on purpose at the time. There were rumors that Barcelona had done this as an attempt to sell him to Manchester United to offload his massive contract. United was the main destination those days because Ten Hag was still at the club, and well, he was rumored with every single one of his former Ajax players. Funny enough, I saw a report that United made a series of videos with their club legends in 2022 to convince De Jong to join them. They put in a lot of effort, and apparently, well, De Jong didn't even watch it. You know Ten Hag was in a dark room blasting Marvin's room after that. Despite all the media reports though, De Jong's stance hadn't changed. Due to personal and footballing reasons, he had always wanted to stay.
His first choice, what he really wants to do is to stay in Barcelona.
But now, of course, the narrative in the press had changed to Frankie only wants to stay for the money. The rumors got worse after he suffered an ankle injury in April of 2024, which ruled him out for the rest of that season as well as the Euros. De Jong was hurt by these rumors. He even admitted it in an interview with the club.
Y eso sí, por eso mentalmente es un proceso duro, como he dicho, porque fútbol es lo que más me gusta.
So when the Dutch midfielder finally recovered from his injury and made his return, it was a complicated situation. For one thing, the midfield position was stacked. Casado had now established himself as a starter, and he offered qualities that De Jong didn't have. Tenacity, aggression, he was the perfect partner for a player like Pedri, an anchor to complement Pedri's creativity. Flick used De Jong a couple times in the number 10 role, but even that position was now stacked, with Olmo, Gavi, and Fermin Lopez. When De Jong did get opportunities, it wasn't the best performances. Flick even took him out of the lineup for a while, and when he was coming on as a sub, he was being booed. I remember fans on Twitter calling him Frankie Ding Dong. He was now one of the captains, but nothing about him screamed leader. He seemed more interested in his hair looking good than actually leading the squad. In fact, in the loss against Las Palmas, Rafinha actually forgot to hand him the captain's armband. It could have been a simple mistake, but given the speculation around De Jong's future, the incident made headlines. But Frankie, well, he didn't give up, and he's been on a mission to rebuild himself at Barca, to prove his worth once again on the pitch. He is now the main man beside Pedri, showcasing just why he was so sought after when he was at Ajax. The double pivot system suits De Jong far better than the traditional 4-3-3 that Xavi was using. It allows De Jong to contribute on both ends of the pitch. He is able to win duels, but then create chances with ease. Remember when I said there are things that Casado can do that De Jong can't? Well, the reverse is also true. There are things that De Jong can do that almost no other midfielder in the world can. Just look at how well he played against Valencia. What makes Frankie so special is that he can dictate the tempo, but he can also carry the ball well. There are not that many midfielders that can carry the ball with the speed and elegance that De Jong does. Not only is he incredible in open space, but he's also excellent in little spaces. The tighter the better. Pause. And defensively, he can be a beast depending on the situation. He's great at pressing and closing down space to win duels. Flick had taken note of all of this. It's why he reportedly told the club to avoid selling the Dutchman at all costs. Crazy shift considering how many were convinced a few months ago that De Jong would be sold. He is now a starter and playing some of the best football of his career. Once criticized, once doubted, De Jong has turned the whistles into cheers. The same fans who question his future are now chanting his name. Some are even buying his jersey on buygamejerseys.com and using pet talks for a discount. De Jong is now once again one of Barcelona's midfield leaders, their tempo setter, and one of the best midfielders in Europe again. He fell, but he never gave up. Flick just seems to have the Midas touch, rejuvenating everyone. I hope he touches me next. He even makes the good players great. To see just how good Yamal has become under the German manager, you gotta check out this video right here.